Bail hearing for Iqbal Sharma will now be heard tomorrow at the Bloemfontein Magistrate's Court. Former Free State Agriculture Department head Peter Thabethe was earlier granted 10,000 rand bail. Sharma is one of the 17 people charged with defrauding the department. A 25 million rand tender was allegedly awarded irregularly to a company owned and controlled by Sharma. eNCA senior reporter Aviwe Mtila is on this story for us and joins us now live from Bloemfontein. Aviwe, thanks once again for your time. So earlier the postponement was to around 3:30 this afternoon, and now we're hearing he will be back again in court tomorrow. What happened in court over the last couple of minutes?
Well, simply put, Clement, it's been a day of postponements at Court 17, Bloemfontein Magistrate Court, where the last postponement that we just heard now left Iqbal Sharma fuming, the close business associate of the Gupta family. Now, just to iron some of this out, because that would mean eventually that he would have to spend one more night behind bars at the police holding cells. You'd remember that he's been at the police holding cells since Wednesday. But just to iron all of that out, I'm joined by Sindisiwe Seboka from the NPA Investigating Directorate. Cindy, what's behind the latest postponement?
So for starters, we had made it clear to the defense that we requested the application by Saturday. However, only received the application by late 8 p.m. last night. We brought it to the court's attention that in order for us to properly satisfy ourselves of the averments made in that particular statement, to verify that those details are true facts of Mr. Iqbal Sharma, only then can we come before court and then bring our version as to why it is that we are opposing bail. That postponement was granted for a few hours. We returned, however, we still needed further confirmation. We must also note that the confirmations that we require not within South African jurisdiction only, but also external, outside of the country. And you know how those particular channels do take a bit of time. So we requested, because we're pressed for time and we also want this to be ventilated as speedily as possible, but thoroughly so, we're going to return tomorrow. However, we must put it on record that we have since provided the presiding magistrate with the details and our version as to what it is or why we are opposing, so that she can be able to go through it overnight. Tomorrow we'll then make our arguments. The defense will also give their arguments as to why they allege he should get bail, why we are alleging that he should not.
Well, it was mentioned inside that Sharma's application was even amended at around 11 o'clock, adding 3 bank statements. And prosecutor touched on the fact that he may be a flight risk. What can we expect tomorrow?
So essentially that, we need to verify those bank statements. However, I cannot get into the details of that until those arguments are properly ventilated before the presiding magistrate. But what we can say is we're definitely opposing bail in this regard, and we're going to cite our details, our reasonings behind opposing bail. But those reasons are quite damning, to say the very least. For those that had watched our previous applications in other cases, more so the Agritzi matter, where we found various other matters and how Agritzi had then created a safe haven abroad. We're saying prepare, watch the space for what we're going to say tomorrow.
Now, let's be realistic about this. There are 8 of the accused that are abroad. Extradition talks currently happening. Assuming Sharma is central to this case, if he was to skip, what does that do then to the strength of your case?
It does nothing to the strength of our case, but what it does do is that we know that justice must not only be done, but it must be seen to be done. So we want everybody in the country, currently in this case, to come and account. So what we're saying is we do not want another situation where we're going to have to add other people in which we have to apply for to come back to the country and account. What we're essentially saying is we are going to bring our merits before court as to why it is that we're opposing bail, but currently we're saying the ones in the country should please stay in the country until we conclude.
NPA's Investigative Director Sindisiwe Seboka saying that watch this space tomorrow as Iqbal Sharma, the close Gupta ally and basically the middleman of all these allegations, appears for his bail application.